So I'm joined today with Jason Kirkshank. He's the president of SaskEB. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today, Jason.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So first of all, before we start, can you just talk a little bit about what SaskEB is?
Yeah, so we're a group of EV owners and advocates based out of Saskatoon. And for almost 3 years now, we've been doing kind of events and other work kind of around Saskatoon and North Battleford and Prince Albert and kind of those areas, Lloydminster as well, to kind of, spread the word about electric vehicles, how they work in Saskatchewan, what's available for charging infrastructure, stuff like that.
So the main reason I sparked my interest to talk with you today was the community charging grant that I saw some information about. So can you just talk to me a little bit about that grant?
Yeah, so with kind of the COVID impacts this year, we haven't been able to do as many events, in-person events as we typically would, and so we thought this year we'd try something a little bit different, and so that's where the community charging grant came from. And so yeah, we're looking for kind of community organizations across the province to apply, and then we're looking to give $2,000 up to $2,000 to an organization who wants to put in kind of some destination charging. So this is charging that's similar to what Parks Canada just put in at Prince Albert National Park and Batoche National Historic Site, places like that, where you can kind of drive to a destination. You can spend a few hours there, enjoying whatever the community has to offer, and then when you go back to your vehicle, your vehicle's all charged up and you're ready to go back home.
So what kind of organizations or businesses or places are best for that? So you talked about things like a national park. What other businesses might use this?
Yeah, so it's anywhere where people are looking to kind of spend a few hours. So the parks are a good example. Movie theaters are also a good example. We've talked about hotels and motels as well, because there you can go and you can get an overnight charge and be ready to go in the morning. Arenas, golf courses, curling clubs. There's so many different activities where you can kind of see somebody wanting to go and spend several hours, and then come back out to a fully charged vehicle when they're done.
And so how would a business apply for this grant?
Yeah, so it's just a matter of visiting us at www.saskeb.ca, and then we've got an application form there, and we've got more details and a FAQ as well for people who are kind of looking for a little bit more detail. And we kind of want this to be an opportunity as well for different organizations to learn a little bit more about charging too. And so we've been fielding some questions about what do I look at for kind of charging hardware, what are some different suppliers and that sort of thing. And so we can help with those questions as well for people who are interested in this and looking to apply.
Have you had a lot of different businesses and organizations throughout the province apply so far?
Yeah, so we've had a few organizations apply so far, and we've had interest as well from a few more who might apply as well, who are they're still just kind of looking to learn a little bit more about what's included with offering something like this. And one of the things that we tell them is that it's really very similar to any other kind of 240 volt appliance that you might have in the home or the workplace, something like a clothing dryer or a stove. It's draws that kind of similar amount of power, and so it's just a matter of kind of wiring it into your breaker panel, and getting an electrician to assist with that.
So what is it like to own an electric vehicle in Saskatchewan? It's very rural province and a lot of the centers are spread out. So what's it like when it comes to charging infrastructure and just, driving in also a cold climate?
Mm-hmm. So we purchased our EV kind of initially as a commuter vehicle, and so we live in Martinsville and we work in Saskatoon, and so driving every day into work. And it's been really great for that. We're able to kind of drive into work, park even on the coldest days. We can park and then come back out and start it up and head back home, or whatever else that we want to have, whatever else we want to do that day. And then we go home and we get a full charge overnight, and we're ready to go the next morning. But kind of as the infrastructure has improved a little bit over the last year or so here, we've been using it even more. We have family in Manitoba, and so we'll drive home with it to visit family there. And the fast chargers that have been introduced on the Trans-Canada Highway, they've made, a really big difference in being able to kind of make that practical, right? Obviously electricity is everywhere. So, really all you need is a plug to be able to travel somewhere. But the fast chargers that, can deliver a speedy charge in a half hour and then you're on your way, it's really made a big difference. So.
And then just before we go, something else that I was kind of curious about is just how clean is driving an electric car in Saskatchewan compared to other places, like maybe Ontario where they're using hydro for the bulk of their electricity. Here in Saskatchewan, it's more non-renewable. Is it still cleaner to drive an electric vehicle than to drive conventional gasoline or diesel?
Yeah, so it is. So SaskPower actually has a really good page that they've developed on this, and it's available on their website. And we have some details on our website as well that kind of goes into this. But electric vehicles are a lot more efficient than gasoline vehicles are. And that's part of the reason why there is this disparity between performance in winter and summer, is because gasoline vehicles kind of generate waste heat year round, right? And so they're able to take advantage of that in the winter, but in the summer, they're still generating that. Whereas electric vehicles, they don't waste as much energy, and so there's not that waste heat that's being produced in the summer that's then having to be vented. And so, they're a lot more efficient. And so that really helps them, even in provinces where we have a little bit of a dirty electricity grid. But it's also a matter of, these are vehicles that get cleaner every year as we add, wind, solar, other renewables, geothermal onto our grid. And so, they're going to be even cleaner in 5 or 10 years when you're still driving them than they are, than they are today when you buy them. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking some time to talk with me today, Jason.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.